At one point I sort of started thinking, what if they lose this game? I am never going to be invited back here again.
Welcome to My Gotta Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this installment of our story series, John Powell and I talked to Chris Biggs, who you all know as British Bulldawg. On September 24th, 2022, Chris watched Georgia defeat Kent State between the hedges in person during his first ever trip to the United States. This is the story of that trip. As always, remember to check out store.mygottapodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at My Gotta Podcast. Finally, we'd love for you to check out our presenting sponsor, Oxia Time, at oxiatime.com. That's AXIATIME.com. Now, let's join the conversation in progress. Well, Chris, it's great to have you back now. And I know you're back home after your trek. Mm-hmm. It's been a couple of weeks, so I don't know. Hopefully, you've had things to kind of time to let it kind of marinate, to be able to reflect on the trip. But I don't know, in case we have anyone new this joining, and like something I feel like I did a horrible job of actually last time we had you on. Why don't you just give us a quick introduction of yourself?
Good question. So my name is Chris Biggs. I have a Twitter handle, which is British Bulldawg. I'm a Georgia Bulldawg football fan living in the United Kingdom.
Awesome. And so, we, again, if folks didn't hear, we did have Chris on ahead. It was part of our Kent State preview episode. And really, I was blown away, Chris, honestly, also just by like your Georgia, your story, your knowledge was awesome. And it was great having you on for that. And then obviously we wanted to know a lot about the upcoming trip for you back then, but now you've done it, you visited. I guess like, I think really we just kind of want to hear. I know I got to take part in some of it. Got to meet up with you, John. John was out of town. John was on his fall break vacation, but
I'm super jealous.
But I'm trying to think too. Okay, so because we had talked like that Monday night, right? And so you had like one more full day. When did you come? I'm not even trying to remember. Was it Wednesday that you came?
Late on Wednesday, I arrived. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I do remember that. I remember like in my head, you were getting to Georgia earlier than you did for some reason. I think I had. We like to say that we thought there'd be no math. I think I did bad, like time adjustments on when your flight was leaving and when you would land. But I guess how was that even? Like because this was your first trip to the United States even altogether. How was the flight? How was the travel?
Yeah, the flight was okay. I had to change in New York, which was an experience. The flight was delayed getting into New York, so I had to rush between the terminals to get my flight to Atlanta. Had to go through customs, and I got grilled immediately upon entering the country.
Oh wow!
Now, I'm not sure if I told you this. So I was speaking to the customs agent, and he obviously asked me the question, "What are you doing in this country?" And I tell him I'm here to watch a college football game. I'm here to watch Georgia Bulldogs, and he's like, "What? No, you're not." I thought I was going to get taken away into that little back room.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
He must have been a Tech fan.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he was testing me. He was like, "Why would you come to see the Georgia Bulldogs? They've not won anything in ages." And I'm sort of looking at him like, is this a test? Is this a test? Anyway, eventually I managed to get past him. I had to sprint to the little train that goes in between the two terminals. I had to talk my way through the sort of the baggage check-in and all of that to sort of jump a few queues. And it was a pretty hectic start to the trip, but totally worth it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you were not in SEC country. Europe and New York. He may not. Maybe he doesn't even know anything. They're more NFL people up there.
Yeah, they're like, what's college football?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't think we had talked about that part. Oh, that's crazy. So then you get into Atlanta. I guess in the kind of the evening, and then make your way up to Athens, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I spent 2 nights actually in Jefferson. I stayed with Dwight, who you had on last week. Which is a really great way to sort of start my trip. Obviously, you've both met him. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
And so welcoming, and it's amazing to, get the lay of the land with, a local.
Right.
There's no better way to do it. So it was great. So Dwight picked me up. We went back to his, and then the fun really started on Thursday.
Yeah,
that's the best to just get plugged in with someone that knows exactly where to take you, knows their way around. So I look forward to you showing us around Scotland one day.
Oh, come along. Yeah.
for sure. I mean, and again, like share what you're comfortable with, keep personal what you want to, but
sure.
I mean, so let's see. So Thursday you come in. I know like Dwight had a lot of stuff set up for you. So I know like you got a pretty cool experience. You got the full experience.
I totally did.
Yeah. A lot going on. And I know too. So, and I will say, I had talked to Dwight, and so some of the things I knew, but I didn't want to, I wasn't going to say anything either, because I didn't want to ruin any surprises. And then same thing, like with I had talked to my dad. So I know I knew that he was planning to meet up with you for lunch that one day and all that stuff. So, I guess just a little bit about that. Like, so what were some of the things you got to do in the days leading up?
So, on the first day, the Thursday, we started off at Mama's Boy.
Okay.
In Athens. Started off with a good breakfast, good southern breakfast to start the day.
Right. Yes.
Which was brilliant. Yeah, I highly recommend it.
That was one of the things, we had gotten a lot of food questions for this episode, but we'd also gotten that heading in. And I know that was one of the things we'd recommended was like a good southern breakfast. So sounds like you a good place was picked for you. So that's awesome.
I started the day right. Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah.
So from there, we took a walk around the campus, had a few photos next to the arch and on the bridge. And then we sort of went into, in the sort of campus is a Chick-fil-A. We went in there, we just had a drink, and we were just sort of resting for a bit. It'd been a heavy morning. And a friend of Dwight was coming along, which is fine. Sort of, I didn't know much about what was going on, but the friend turns up and starts talking about our plans for the afternoon. And he's sort of talking about, so I think we'll go in the back entrance and then start in the locker room, and then we'll walk onto the field. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I don't know if I can swear on your podcast. You can probably bleep it out. I was like, sorry, Carter. What the
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yes, completely taken aback. So from there, we went into Sanford. We had, the red carpet was rolled out. It was incredible. We got a tour of the stadium, started in the locker room, went out onto the field. Just awe-inspiring. Such a privilege to get that experience. I've truly been spoiled on this trip.
Yeah, it was a heck of a first game, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's amazing. I was telling Jim, I was like, man, we need to go across the pond and come back and get the first class experience.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So okay. So you went in. So did you so were you out in the field first?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had to walk around the field.
So let me see. So we came in the back, and you go in the field, we go in the locker room. We got to see the away locker room as well, which is quite interesting, just to see that sort of the contrast between the home locker room, which is pristine, amazing, just like everything is top notch. And then you go to the away locker room, which is just like some grey metal lockers,
right?
Probably no air conditioning.
Yeah. Well, and that locker room, the home locker room, that's all. I mean, that's pretty new. Like that's within the last few years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So yeah, so you get that, and I know I saw some good pictures from there. That's pretty cool. And then you get to go out and walk around the field, and then I believe so. I know your pregame video that you do every week was from the field.
Yeah.
Was that a little inside sources, a little inside information here? So was that recorded that Thursday? When was that done? Or that was
okay, recorded Saturday.
Okay, so I'm jumping ahead. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Sorry. Okay, cool. That's okay. I didn't realize that you went back on, and I was with you that day. That's pretty fun.
I was trying to sneak you into the ground.
Just true story. Man, okay. So you get the tour of the locker room, you get to tour of the field. So was it I guess was everything though like empty for the most part, right? Like it was like you and the folks touring, like, or
yeah.
There was no, because no one's there, right?
No, it wasn't like an open day. So we were shown around by a member of staff who sort of kindly took the time to show us at sort of different places, and we saw like the recruitment areas and things like that, sort of things that you wouldn't even sort of dream about seeing. And you can see the efforts that we go to like recruit players. And if I was 18 years old, I'd want to be playing at Georgia. I can tell you that. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, that's so cool. I love that. And I guess I'll add to, like, shout out Dwight. It's pretty awesome. He and I talked again afterwards and everything. And I know he was saying that he could tell too, just being there with you, like the look on your face, that what it meant. So I know that was cool. That was cool. Yeah. I mean, do you know what? It was like good. I wasn't expecting any of it. And it was good enough just going to like Sanford Bridge and looking down onto the stadium. I love how it's open and they can just sort of be in it from the outside immediately. But to sort of get that inside experience was on another level.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Seriously. Just enhances the overall experience. Like, what was your biggest takeaway from just the facilities? And well, let's just say like the behind the scenes facilities, and then we can talk about stadium experience.
I think just sort of how professional everything is. It's a sort of a balance between being a professional sports team and being that sort of community college football team, and you're bringing that together with the sort of hospitality of local people and people who are sort of affiliated with the team. It's something quite special.
Yeah, cool. So you take the tour. What's next? When was that? So let's see here. This, because we're still on Thursday, right?
Yeah,
now I'm losing track.
Thursday
right?
is a big day. Yeah. I was only there for 5 nights, but I sort of crammed quite a lot in.
Yeah. So then I think is that then when you went out for lunch with my dad, or was that Friday?
That was Friday. So after the stadium tour, we went to this is so typical of a British person abroad. We went to Athens's premier British pub, the Royal Peasant.
Nice.
just what you needed.
yeah, totally.
So how did it live up to its name?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same but different. It's got a flat roof, and there's this sort of expression in sort of the UK that if a pub has a flat roof, generally that's a place where like fights are going to happen.
A flat roof. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't see any of that. It was, it was very nice. Some British beers, lots of it was clear that people from the UK had been there. There's sort of obscure British soccer team flags and scarves on the wall. It's pretty surreal.
Nice. I don't know. I don't think that I've been there.
I've never heard of it. Yeah, we'll have to go there.
Yeah, we got to go there. This is why you come from the UK, Chris, to tell us where to go when it happens.
Yeah, seriously. We did give him a few places to go to.
We did.
He stayed across from Raising Cane's.
Yeah. Never went.
I still haven't. I still haven't been there either. I tried. I tried last week and failed. What was next on the agenda?
So later, Dwight had another little surprise for me. And funny enough, opposite Raising Cane's in the car park, we got to meet Brock Bowers and Oscar Delp.
Yeah. Okay.
Which was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Amazing.
Especially considering like one of our questions we asked you was like, who's your favorite player on the team? And you had said Brock Bowers. So that's pretty awesome. With Raising Cane's like in the background too.
Oh, I know. It was perfect. It was perfect. Awesome. So they were meeting Dwight to sign some flags for the Bulldogs battling breast cancer charity, which I know you were sort of promoting last week. And it was just, it was very good timing that I came along with Dwight and sort of managed to force them to have a photograph with me.
So it wasn't a planned. It was a bit of a planned meetup. It wasn't like a chance.
Oh no! Meeting. No! I wasn't that lucky. No, not at all. It was. I
was thinking you were just duck lucky, man.
No. But I was so impressed. They're both like, they're so well-rounded, polite young guys. What are they, sort of 19, 18 years old, and they've got sort of the world at their feet. I just sort of imagine, if I was their age and I had thousands and thousands of people cheering for me every week, I was sort of on campus, what would I be like at that age? I'd be a monster.
Right.
So it was so nice to meet them. Both truly impressive young men. Had a nice chat with them. We talked about rugby, sort of English game, kind of similar to football.
So
it was very, very cool.
Nice. We'll have to get that. We'll have to make sure they're synced up with the UGA Rugby Club.
Yeah.
Man. So then my excellent interviewing skills. I'm like, so with that now, what next?
What was Thursday night like? You went and met up with Brock Bowers. You had the tour. What else did you guys do?
We
went to Creature Comforts, had a few beers.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah. That's great.
Excellent place. That was, I know John and I always joke about the podcast after the podcast, and we had a little bit of that with you. I know that was one of the places we talked about.
I really liked it. I really liked it. Is it Tropicalia? Is that the IPA? It's delicious. It's so good. I was literally this afternoon trying to see if there's anywhere in the UK that stocks it. There is not yet.
Yeah. I like that word yet. Yeah. I can't even buy it in North Carolina in the US. So, I think there's a lot going on there, but
if only there was a fraternity brother that we had that we could reach out to talk to about these things.
True. Yes. John has a former roommate actually from our fraternity that works there. We'll have to figure these things out.
We'll have to talk to him.
Yeah. So that is a great spot. I'm glad that got included. Because that's my favorite brewery. So that's my favorite beer. I have it stocked in my fridge here in North Carolina, even though I can't get it. I bring it home from Georgia whenever I go.
Did they have any October beers, Oktoberfest beers?
No, not at that point. I did have the sort of the classic city lager, which I suppose would be close enough to like a German style beer.
It's a classic lager. It's a good one.
Good stuff.
So that was your Thursday day.
That was day one.
Yeah, that's like one day. Holy cow. I know like one of the things you said to us was like like when you planned the trip, it seemed like you were gonna have a lot of time. Then as you're getting closer, you realized you weren't gonna have much time. So you definitely packed it in there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I could sleep on the plane going home. I was I was going to do as much as possible.
Right. So on Thursday, I don't know what you did in the morning, but I do know, I think Thursday afternoon is that's when you met up with my dad and had some barbecue for lunch, I believe, right?
Yeah. I mean, so that was Friday.
Sorry. Yeah. Friday. Yeah.
I did. Yeah. In the morning, I was busy. I did a couple of interviews on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. So the first thing I saw was the Athens Banner Herald.
Yeah.
There's a newspaper. So how did that even come about?
How did that come about? I think the journalist just reached out to me on Twitter, and he just gave me a call. We chatted for half an hour, and now I've got an extremely cool souvenir, this paper with my face on the front of the sports page.
Yeah.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
That is awesome. That is awesome. We got we were just FYI, like we continued. We also lived vicariously through you and your experience, and like because like when that happened, when the newspaper article came out, people like were like tagging the podcast. They were like, "Your boy's famous!" Like, it was awesome.
They must be listeners. They must be listeners.
That's right.
They knew you were coming.
Must be. Of course.
That's right.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously. Oh man.
So I did that on Friday morning. I also spoke to Chris Childers for his radio show, which is also pretty cool.
Yes.
And then I went for lunch with your dad.
Okay.
And a few others, sort of Adam Owens, Eddie Moyer, Eddie's wife, and along with Dwight too.
Yeah.
We went to, I think it's Gainesville in Georgia, to a place called the Inked Pig. It's a barbecue place. So I experienced some true Southern cooking.
Yeah. What did you get? Do you remember?
I do. Yeah, I do. I had the brisket. I had the mac and cheese. I had the collard greens. I had some sweet tea.
Here we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah. That stuff is sweet. My God.
It is.
And then Eddie very kindly bought me, I guess it's like a banana pudding.
Yeah.
To finish. You'd have had to wheel me out of there. It was a lot of food, but it was so good.
They call it nanner pudding down here.
Nanner pudding.
Nanner pudding.
That was delicious.
Yeah. My dad said that it seemed that you thoroughly enjoyed that.
I certainly did. Yeah.
No, that was great. I know I got sent some pictures from that outing. So that was cool. Yeah. That was very cool.
It was really nice to meet those guys. And your dad is a very, very cool man, Jim, must say.
I agree. I concur. That's awesome.
He is famous.
He is much more famous than John
internationally famous now.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what was I'm gonna pause on the food items. So you mentioned you had some classic Southern food, classic barbecue. What was the did you eat any of the strange food? Like we were joking about haggis and foods that you would have to try, like pimento cheese. Like what was the strangest thing that you tried, or what was something that surprised you?
What was something that surprised me? I mean, do you know what? Things like sweet tea and collard greens were foods that I hadn't had before. But going to any of these places, my sort of way of doing it was just letting someone else order for me. I'll have what you're having, and it kind of worked out okay, to be honest.
Nice,
love it.
Okay, I missed one from Thursday night because Dwight did want to know how was the PB&J drink.
Have you tried this?
I don't think so.
I haven't, but I saw the ingredients of it on Twitter, and I thought it sounded pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to any sort of fancy cocktail you like, but you won't drink anything like this. I think it's something that's sort of become Twitter famous or YouTube famous. There's a guy called Club Dirty. So it's very, very strong, but you wouldn't know it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of that sort of that deadly drink that you could probably drink quite a lot of before you knew what was happening. It's delicious.
Right. Yeah, those can be dangerous.
It was just screwball. It was screwball peanut butter whiskey and grape juice, right?
Grape juice.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. That's a good little concoction. That was that Hug Dog's concoction.
I think he may have given the tip. Yeah, it's a guy called Club Dirty on on Twitter.
Yeah, I think Dwight basically caught wind of it from Hug Dog. Is my understanding. That's where he got clued onto it from.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to try it.
Nice. Because I know at one point you were switching to your Airbnb. So was that on Friday when you moved over to Airbnb?
So Friday I moved it to the Airbnb.
Okay.
I went for some food in the evening with Dwight and his wife and some of his friends. We went to a place called Taquilla do Sol. Probably
Yeah,
butchered that.
Taqueria del Sol.
Yeah, which is very good. Mm-hmm. So
you're getting like all the different food types. This is awesome.
Yeah.
You were shown. If everyone did a good job. My compliments to those who were taking you around. This is very well rounded. I like this.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like every good American, American, you got some good Mexican.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
I went to the other place. Is it a taco stand? Have you ever been there? That was really good.
Have you ever been there, Jim?
Yeah, I went there on a Sunday night. It was good. I loved it. So Friday I checked into my Airbnb. We eventually found it. My directions to Leslie Dwight's wife were not good. Those margaritas are quite strong at Taqueria del Sol. So it took us a little while to get there, but I did get there.
Yeah.
And then Friday night was my first experience of Athens and downtown, which is sort of a completely different thing altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly is. Where did you guys go? Like, what are some of the bars that you went to? Which I know, like, I'll probably recognize a fraction of them.
Yeah. I mean, I kept it simple. So we started off in the Georgia Theatre, and I went to the sort of a rooftop bar there to start with, which is really cool. It's a really cool setting. It was a Corey Smith concert that night, so primarily there to see that. Right. But you go all the way up to the roof. It's like a cool setting. There's lights sort of strung across, and you can see all around you. There's a girl playing guitar and sort of singing songs on the rooftop, and a few drinks there to start with was a good start to the evening. And from there, we ended up in a place called Governor of something.
General. Well, there's
General
Beauregards.
Yeah.
General Beauregards. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah,
that's actually one that was there when Jim and I were in school.
Yeah, I actually had been there. I had been there. Yeah. Whatever. We're not here to listen to where John and I go to bars.
Did you have the Southern tea out of the mason jar?
I did. Yeah. I was doing it all properly. That is also quite a strong drink, but very delicious.
It was. That's awesome. Well, so what were your thoughts on Corey Smith? That was another big jealous point. Like I remember thinking to myself, man, I could probably go to this thing, but my wife would kill me.
Yeah, it was fun. He clearly knows his audience, and those kids in that crowd were whipped into a frenzy immediately. And you sort of start to feel a bit old. I'm 35, so I'm sort of towards the back of the crowd because it was absolutely bouncing in there.
Right. Did he play or have any edits to his famous song "Every Dog"?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain he did sing that song. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He added a verse. He basically added a "We win the national championship" verse. Right,
nice.
John. Or I've seen him.
I haven't seen it.
I'm not saying that he did it at this concert. I've seen that he did that at some concert at some point.
Mm-hmm.
He added a verse. Stuff. Yeah. Cool. Man, I did. When you told us that, I remember I went and checked, and it was sold out. And then I ended up because I was trying to see maybe last minute head to that concert, but I couldn't make it work out.
Yes. So that was Friday.
The full downtown Athens experience. And the night before a noon kickoff too.
Yeah.
Did the evening end at Little Italy?
No, it didn't. It should have done. It should have done because it is literally just down the road, isn't it? More fuel for next time. I was
just about to say you left some on the table for next time.
Absolutely, yeah. There's so many things that I've got to tick off my list.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get into the game day because I know a lot of folks are going to want to hear about that.
Yeah.
So I know I'll tell my side of it.
Sure.
So I had come in, Friday night to with my parents. stopped at an Ingles on my way in to get the ingredients to make Panda's famous bean dip. I get to my parents' house Friday night, and I walk in with grocery bags. And my mom said, "What is that?" And I said, "I got stuff to make bean dip for Chris." My mom was like, "We listened to the podcast, so I bought stuff to make bean dip for Chris." So it was hilarious. So we had like twice the ingredients needed. so anyways, but yeah. So then I know like my dad dropped me off Saturday morning on campus, and they were going to come back and meet us up later. And so I walk up to the tailgate, and I think I see Dwight and Adam initially, and then you walked up. So I know we were like the first folks to the tailgate. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. So was that the start of the day? Had there been anything that was pretty much, or had you guys done like breakfast or anything, or did I, or was that? Because that's it's fairly early. It was like 9 something, I think, right?
Like, I think it was earlier than that, if I'm honest.
It was pretty early.
Almost.
Yeah, I got over there early.
Yeah. No, that was more or less the start of the day for me. Yeah. So I'd come down with Dwight and Adam, and they were drinking Bloody Marys on the way to the tailgate.
Yeah. And then I got there and handed you a beer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A little breakfast beer never hurt anyone.
Breakfast bowl.
It was a Creature Comforts. It had some fruit in it. It wasn't a Tropicalia. It was one of the Athena beers. It was good. It was a breakfast beer.
Yeah. No, mate. So that was it. That was the start of game day. But sort of, we were the first people at that tailgate. It was obviously a noon kickoff, so I wanted to be there as early as possible to soak up what I could.
Right.
Quite quickly, obviously, it's the dog walk, and I had managed to snag a couple of tickets to see the dog walk from inside the stadium, which was pretty cool. I must say.
That's really cool. So that is what led to you being able to get in to record the video, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So where were you? Because in relation to where you and I were later on that day. So you were inside the stadium there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were inside the stadium.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
We're on the field.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're at the end of the dog walk.
Yes. Yeah.
Chris, how does it compare? How does the pregame atmosphere compare to like a big sporting event over in Scotland, or say a Manchester United game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the tailgating culture is unique to US sports. It's not really something we do in the UK, and it's perhaps something we can do. People in the UK tend to really go for a few drinks, go to like their team's pub before a game, that sort of thing. But what I really liked about the tailgate was just how inclusive it was to everyone. It's very, very welcoming, and I don't know if that's a Southern hospitality thing, which is obviously something I experienced a lot of, or if it's Georgia or college sports in general. But I was blown away by how welcoming and social it was.
Yeah. I don't even have like a great answer for you there. I will say, I think Southern. I know one of the things you said to me was you learned the Southern hospitality was real.
That's a real thing.
Yeah. And so I would agree. I would say, I don't know, like, because you are at Georgia and you're coming as a Georgia fan, because I can't speak to other places because I'm going in there as the opposing fan base. So hard for me to say. I'd love to say that the places would be similar, but I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Kind of depends on the team and depends on the game. I totally get that.
Yeah.
The accent is also disarming for literally everyone here. So you had that going for you.
Oh man, awesome. So to that point. So if you were could you hear the battle hymn and like the band and everything from where you were at for the dog walk, or because if you were in the stadium, you could say,
you can hear all of that. You can sort of, you're anticipating it. You can hear it coming, and sort of slowly and dribs and drabs, people start walking through.
Yeah.
And we got right to the front, so we just sort of saw them. Yeah. An arm's reach away.
Did we lose Chris?
I think we did. I thought it was me at first. Pick up where you left off.
I can do that again. I'm a professional, don't worry. Yeah, so I was stood there watching them all come towards me. The band, the cheerleaders, everything is sort of building up and up and up.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, I was so glad I had my sunglasses on, because I was genuinely becoming a little bit teary with sort of, not only how sort of awe-inspiring it all is, but just how overwhelmed I was by the whole experience, and how welcomed I felt.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. That's really cool.
It was very cool, and sort of once the players have gone through, there's a little bit of sort of milling around time. Josh Brooks came up to me, recognized my t-shirt, and asked me for a picture. I was
yes,
absolutely ridiculous, but so cool.
That's incredible. That's just simply incredible.
Yeah, that is amazing.
That's just the power. That's the power of dog Twitter in action right there. When the athletic director says, "Hey, I know you."
Oh man! Wow. Man. Okay. So from there, you go and record your game day video, I'm guessing, ish, roughly.
Yeah. So we did it by the sort of the home section, by the spikes and everything like that. So we did it there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was perfect. I didn't. Yeah. Like I said, I thought you had pre-recorded that. I did not real. I didn't. Like I said, it's funny because we were together a decent amount that day, and I somewhere I lost that. That's really cool. That's really cool. I guess I got something I was going to ask, but I'll wait a little bit later till we get through a couple of things. But because from there, then you come back to the tailgate, right? Okay. And then not long after that, I introduced you to Panda's Bean Dip. So you got to try that.
Oh yeah. The highlight of my whole trip.
Amazing. Which at that point, like a lot of more people had arrived to the tailgate, right?
Yeah.
But I think when you guys went to the dog walk, it was still pretty much me, you, Adam, Dwight, and Kat.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So then I know then you come back, and I know folks were excited to meet you. A lot of dog Twitter folks there. So that was really cool.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah. And then I think it was actually while you were trying the bean dip is when you got the WSB call, I think, unless I'm remembering that
wrong. Yeah, that's it. So again, another surreal experience. So obviously, as you know, we got the call to go and speak to Alison from the TV.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, so I offered to show you the way to get there and back. And I can say too, not that it was Josh Brooks, but I do remember when we were walking over there, when we were walking over the bridge, someone stopped you because they saw your T-shirt. And we're like, British Bulldog.
It's so bizarre. It's really nice that people recognize me. That happened a lot. So that day that people are sort of recognizing me.
Well, let's see, because at that point,
the word's out.
Right.
The word was out.
At that point, I mean, obviously, everyone knew because they listened to My God podcast, but it had been on Twitter. We had you had the Athens Banner Herald article. You had been on the Chris Childers radio. So yeah, I think folks were well informed. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I did not intend to get wrapped up and actually end up on TV with you with the now famous walk and talk scene.
A walk and talk.
That was Aaron Sorkin. That was like perfect Aaron Sorkin.
Absolutely, yeah. It was like, have you ever seen a West Wing where there's a lot of walking and talking? And
that's exactly yeah.
Oh, it was so funny because basically they're interviewing Chris, and I think it was pretty much wrapped up. And they were like, they wanted some B-roll or whatever. And I think someone actually said walk and talk. Let's just do a walk and talk. And then when you guys were walking away, the camera guy looked at me and was like, you go over there with him too. I was like, okay.
Jim's walking along, kind of pointing to his hat. I've got a podcast.
I told him he should have made sure that you were wearing the hat. Here, wear this real quick.
That was okay. But hey, at least I did end up on TV wearing my hat and my Oxia Time watch, which brings us to the fact that season 3 of My God, a Podcast is presented by Oxia Time. If you want to commemorate the Dogs' national championship in style, you've got to check out their Georgia National Championship timepieces. John and I each have one, and it's one of the nicest things that we own. The quality and styling of this watch is comparable to some of the big name Swiss brands, but at a fraction of the price. So exclusively for our listeners, you can get 10% off these timepieces by using the code MyGottaPodcast at checkout. So be sure to go and check them out at oxiatime.com. That's AXIATIME.com. Oh man, that was cool. I had never been around something like that, certainly on a game day. That was cool just to see that.
It was really cool.
That process with their multiple camera setup and everything.
Yeah.
Doing that was pretty cool. That was fun. Which is on our YouTube channel if anyone missed it. I think it's on WSB somewhere, but I think it was like kind of chunked up. So we put the whole interview on there, which aired the next weekend. I think they aired a segment of it that night, right? And then they put the whole thing out there. Before the Missouri game. So that was cool. So then we go back to the tailgate, and again, everyone's excited to see you.
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of hang out. And then, but then you go to the game. So,
yeah.
So at that point, I'm not with you anymore. So I don't, we talked a little bit after the game, but what was that experience for you? Just walking. I mean, I know it's, you've been in the stadium twice at this point, right? But in a much more empty setting. So now you're walking in, the band is playing and everything. What was that like?
Yeah. It's just amazing. It sort of takes your breath away to sort of see it from that perspective. I had deliberately gone in about half an hour early just to sort of capture everything that I could. And you've got all the sort of pageantry and the traditions that you know about, but you've never actually seen other than sort of, on a screen. So it was totally awe-inspiring. I love how sort of open everything is. So you've got the freedom to, go down to the hedges. You can go see the sort of the student section. You get the lone trumpeter.
Yeah.
And then you get the game itself.
Yeah. So I don't know, because they play that the battle hymn with the lone trumpeter, like they played that song at the dog walk, but I think it's also it's still, and like I actually went back to the dog walk last time I was there, and it did make the hair on my neck stand up. But it's even more, I think, powerful pregame. I mean, was that another like hair on your neck kind of standing up moment for you, like when that's happening?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the hustle and bustle of the entire stadium is there, and then all of a sudden everybody's getting hushed and it's all quiet, and then it's like,
right. I know, like, so one of our listeners, Lula34, had asked, like, what was your favorite aspect of the game day? Because so I think that was what I was kind of waiting on. So you've got like, your tailgate, the walk and talk, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. The dog walk, the battle hymn, the pregame, all that. What was your favorite out of all that?
I couldn't pick a favorite. It's all of it. It's a combination of those traditions and the pageantry and the passion of literally 95%, 98% of that stadium were sort of dressed in red.
Yeah.
It was everything. It was totally there aren't the words to describe what kind of feeling that was.
Yeah. And it did turn out the weather couldn't have been any better for you either. I mean, it was just a gorgeous day. Like we said, it was the Chamber of Commerce day for you. So so you say you get the battle hymn, you get the Saturday in Athens, you get all the pregame.
Call the dogs. Yeah.
Calling the dogs. Yeah. Yep. So you had never, did anyone like call the dogs or anything downtown or anything Friday night or anything?
Yeah, they did. Okay. In the pub, in the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an experience. I'll send you a video of that later. It's amazing.
Okay. So you had gotten at least some warm up. Got some practice in. Got in some practice reps before.
Yeah.
I did leave out something I just thought of. something that I forgot that happened at the tailgate. Which shout out Greg, by the way, for hosting the tailgate. You had your first Chick-fil-A chicken at the tailgate, which was a big moment.
Yeah, you brought me a plate. It was very much appreciated. It was delicious. Yeah.
The Lord's chicken. You had the Lord's chicken.
I'll be going back.
Okay, so you're a fan?
Yeah.
Not to. This is how I remember it, Chris. Whether this is exactly what happened or not, but you tasted it and you looked at me and you were like, "This is excellent." And you're like, "This is better than KFC." I was like, I agree.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I'm willing to open a franchise here.
There we go.
That's easy. Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Love it.
We can probably find some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So sticking with the theme of the weekend, where you had told us before the game or you told us when we talked to you beforehand that Brock Bowers was your favorite player. And then on this dang second play of the game, he takes an end around to the house. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I was anticipating quite an easy game at that point. I thought they were going to run up the score.
Right. So let's talk about that. I know. Like, I mean, so what was it overall like for you? The feeling. I mean, just between. So we got the battle hymn we talked about, right? Calling the dogs, leading up to it. I'm sure there was a big energy for you just for the opening kickoff. And then to score so quickly. I mean, what's your mindset right then at the beginning?
Yeah, I was buzzing, completely buzzing. It was brilliant.
Nice. Oh man. And like, now I'm even like trying to remember what all happened. So you did, I know, so like, I think my sister had said like,
it rings in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. That the team wanted to give you the full Georgia experience. I mean, because that first quarter was like wild. It's like crazy stuff going on. So you definitely got the full, you got the full
authentic Georgia experience. That's what I came for. Yeah.
That's right. Not every game is a 35-point blowout.
Yeah.
Which would have been fun. But you got to feel the crowd, kind of reacting to some terse moments, right?
Yeah, I noticed that. At one point I sort of started thinking, what if they lose this game? I am never going to be invited back here again.
It was never in doubt, man. It was never in doubt.
All good. That's so funny.
Did anybody mention that to you?
Yeah, there were a few comments were made.
Go back to Scotland.
Was this like via like Twitter and text messages, or like people that you're around?
No, thankfully it was all virtual.
Okay.
Everyone was nice to my face.
There we go.
Nobody told you to bugger off.
Bugger off. No.
Oh man.
Sorry, Carter.
He wouldn't. Yeah, I doubt he knows that needs to be sorry.
Exactly.
Oh man,
that's awesome, dudes. You got the full gamut of emotions, the full gamut of experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
How so we talk about the lone trumpeter. Like, were there at any point was there like a cheer or a fight song that you were like anticipating or looking forward to?
No, I mean, to be honest, you don't always hear all about on the TV, do you? You know of the traditions, but to see it in real life it is completely different. So obviously, I knew about the sort of pre-game traditions. I knew that somebody would come out and call the dogs, and I knew that there'd be the lone trumpet and the dog walking. And you sort of you read up and you know about all of that, but otherwise, I was just sort of taking it all in.
Yeah, you probably hadn't seen like a full halftime show, right? Like the spell Georgia cheer, the stadium saying, Georgia Bulldogs.
All
that stuff.
Absolutely. And obviously you get the TV timeouts, which was something that took me some getting used to.
Did you learn to hate the man with the red hat?
Hey, at least he has the, so Chris, he didn't always have like the little sign with the clock that would tell you how much time was left. That's fairly new. When that wasn't there, you'd just be sitting there like
people getting angrier and angrier. Yeah.
When is this going to end?
It's like the worst traffic stop ever.
No, 100%.
So one thing that I'm like curious about as well in that regard was like the Krypton fanfare when the fourth quarter rolled around. Like, how walk us through that a little bit.
I mean, it was a noon kickoff, so that would have been great in the dark.
Yeah, for sure.
It was still very, very cool. The guy that was with John sort of talked me through what I needed to do.
Nice.
So yeah, it was very cool.
And by the way, so John, I don't know if we talked about this or not, but Chris did end up, not live action, but his picture did end up on the Jumbotron because there was so this is why you should actually use the official hashtag that we never use. Like if you put, because they scan that and end up putting like game day pictures up on the Jumbotron. So Chris did end up on the Jumbotron from a picture from the tailgate that had the hashtag.
Yeah,
on it. That was pretty cool.
Very cool. That's
so
very cool.
In section 318, we were like, it's Chris.
Yeah, I think it was me and Ruse Dixie Dog, the other person in that picture.
Yeah,
really
that was
cool.
pretty cool. That was cool.
And what are you drinking, by the way, Jim? You've not mentioned what you've got.
We have not gone over that. In honor of you being here, I have a callback. So same thing as last time. The Maker's 46 French Oak.
Very nice.
Yeah. How about you?
In honor of John's drink from last week, I've got an Isla whiskey.
Oh, nice.
I did hear you pronounce it Islay.
I was just about to say I probably butchered it.
That's okay. So this is an Isla. It's called Brickladdich. Can you see that? You can't see it. Oh, there you go.
There we go. I got it. Oh, cool.
The classic laddie. Yeah, so it's sort of a little bit peated, but not much. So quite smooth.
Nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
John's live on location at a brewery.
Yes, I'm at Red Hair, not a sponsor yet. Red Hair Brewery in Marietta.
Yeah, we should have tweeted that out. Like, hey, come out to Red Hair, see John Powell.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Although I would have been 30 minutes late. Sorry, guys.
Oh, too funny. Man, so I guess so. Like throughout the game, I mean, if eventually it becomes more, you get beyond your worrying that they're going to lose with you there. We kind of pull away, which I guess we talked about. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Did you Munson at all? Were you Munsoning in the stands?
Yeah. I don't think you could be a Georgia fan if he didn't Munson.
Oh yeah, man. That's perfect.
Just baptized him in fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything else from the stadium that's of note that you want to touch on or talk through?
No, I do. I really like how open it all is. So you can sort of, like I was saying, you can get around and you can sort of speak to different people, which I really liked. That's something that's sort of quite unique.
That is a difference because I believe that like in the UK, like they have sections shut off. Like you can't actually get to certain areas. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, those British hooligans.
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, I noticed that there was no alcohol served in the stadium.
Yeah.
But did you notice that it was being poured though?
I couldn't possibly comment.
You should have talked to Josh Brooks when he about that and asked him when that's coming, when he recognized you.
That's funny.
I think that'll happen at some point is my guess. There's but yeah, not yet. Unless you're in one of the suites. There's like Ace or there's like a couple of sections where you can get it on the club level, I think. But yeah, that'll come eventually.
I'm sure it will.
So so talking about that, just like being able to move around, did you move around a bit during the game or did you stay in your seats the whole time? Or did you watch from a couple of vantage points or? No,
I stayed in my seats for the whole game. But next time, now that I know that you can do that, sort of the freedom that offers to sort of go and see different people and see it from different vantage points is something that really appeals to me. So the only regret I've got from the trip is the fact that I wasn't able to meet the sort of sheer amount of people that were reaching out to me. I just didn't have the the time or the opportunity. So sort of now that I know that's possible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I lucked out in that Coach Joe Bill is in my section, and so I just have to walk a few rows back to talk to him. But
nice.
we just need to put in with Josh Brooks, since you're so friendly with him now. We can put in for a My God, a podcast section.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I know we went back to Greg's tailgate after the game. Actually, so how was that even too? Because I know, I mean, just getting out of the stadium, right? I know folks are happy. Well, for the most part, I'm trying to remember what the vibe was like leaving the stadium that day. I remember actually running into some Kent State fans on the way out too. But then just kind of strolling out. What was that for you? What was that like for you? Just game ends, bands playing, they're playing the Chapel Bell, Kirby's shaking hands and everything, and then you move on.
Did you go and pull the Chapel Bell?
No, I didn't, but I will do next time.
Okay. I don't remember hearing it ring while I was there on campus, at least.
No, and I'd walked past it on the Friday, but I didn't want to ring it prematurely.
Right. That was a good call.
So, yeah, I'll certainly be doing it next time I'm there. But no, I sort of stayed in the stadium until the very bitter end, and even sort of after the game, so that there weren't too many people left in there.
Yeah.
By the point sort of the end of the game, and I just I think that's probably spent about 5 minutes just on my own. Everyone else had gone, just sat there trying to absorb everything that had happened.
That's awesome, man. I love that for you. That's cool. That's cool. Just to kind of sit there and take it all in.
Agreed.
That's really cool. That was a smart move on your part, just to have that personal memory and kind of take those mental pictures,
Did you get a stadium cup? Did you get a collector's cup from the stadium to take home?
I didn't.
Add that to the list of things.
No, I did get a few. I think I've got like a attack the day. I've got one from the tailgate, a few cups and a few koozies and stuff. So I've got some souvenirs.
There you go. Nice. I heard someone slipped you a My God, a podcast sticker. That was a failure on my part, but I heard.
I've got it. I found it in my my sunglasses case the other day. Actually, I was like, oh, there it is.
My dad was like, by the way, I did give. He had some at his house. He's like, I did give Chris a sticker.
Yeah.
Oh man, too cool. Anything else from the game itself that you want to call out?
No, not at all. And I know sort of the game against Kent State is not the biggest game, which is something I sort of totally acknowledge. But I'm so glad that it started, on that kind of game, a noon kickoff against what would be perceived to be a smaller team, because it just means that I can come back again, aim for, an SEC game, a big game, a night kickoff. It gives me more and more, fuel for the fire to come back. Not that I need it,
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. And then I know we back after the tailgate. I say again, like, I feel like I could see in your face that it had been a lot to take in throughout the day. I could tell.
Yeah, I was wiped out at that point.
That was pretty awesome. You did I don't know what you did Saturday night after the game, if anything, but I do know you did a couple of cool things on Sunday even. So
yeah, I did. So Sunday was really cool. And it's kind of exactly what I needed at the end of the trip, the last full day of my trip. So I was very kindly taken to breakfast by a couple of guys on Twitter, Sharon and Joe. Joe goes by Tiny Putter on Twitter.
Yep.
They are both Silver Dogs, which I didn't know too much about.
Okay, yeah.
But it seems like such a cool scheme that, sort of older people in the community will come and show people around and welcome people, and sort of that's something that's missing from British sport. And I don't know how unique it is to George, but I just thought it's another reason to love the team. So I met up with them and we went to Waffle House.
Yes. Perfection.
Excellent.
That was also on our recommendation list. So another check mark. Good job.
What was your order, Chris?
It was the All-Star with everything on it.
Yes. Well done.
2 thumbs up.
Well done.
It was delicious.
Did you get the hash browns with everything, or did you get?
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Pecan waffle.
No, it was just a normal waffle with sort of the butter and jam. But it was all excellent.
Add that one to the list.
Okay.
That will cure that Waffle House trip. That will cure everything that ails you. So
it was
that
amazing.
was a good call.
Do they have anything like that? Do they have anything like that in the UK?
Oh, yeah.
No. But sort of, I think it's a uniquely American experience. Sort of the diner. We see that sort of thing in the films. Sort of the person that will come around with the coffee pot and fill up your cup. It was a very cool, authentic experience. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. Well, then I don't know if it was before or after you guys went over to the Bulldawg brunch as well, right? Was it after Waffle House?
After Waffle House, yeah.
Okay.
Again, not something I was expecting to do, but we did. We went over to the Bulldawg brunch, got to meet Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler.
Yeah.
Again, it was totally surreal, but so cool.
I gotta say, man, and I'm saying this from the picture that actually that tiny putter posted on Twitter from that. Your sweatshirt that you had, I feel like I need that sweatshirt. Where did you get that?
Yeah. I was actually speaking to Jeff's wife about this. She was admiring it. It's from a website called National Vintage League, which is a British sort of vintage clothing website for NFL and college football and sort of all manner of other sports teams.
Okay.
So they do have a Georgia football section, which I know sounds completely bizarre, but something like that is being sold in the UK. But yeah, it's one of my prized possessions. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a nice sweatshirt. Oh man, too cool. I guess that's where my knowledge of your trip kind of ends. What else went down for you, kind of rounding out? Because I know you weren't here much longer.
No, yeah. So I sort of left early Monday. So Sunday afternoon, I met with another guy that I'd met through Twitter, Governor of Dixie. His handle, and we had a really sort of chilled out afternoon exploring sort of lesser known parts of Athens. We saw sort of areas where REM had played concerts or sort of shot album covers. We drove into different parts of town, parks. At one point we ended up at the corner of Nowhere and Nowhere. Have you heard of that?
Nice. Yes.
I've been there.
Yeah, exactly. Something I didn't even know about. So it's a really cool thing to see. And we hit a few breweries. So we went to Southern Brewery, and we went to Academia as well.
Nice.
And then we ended the evening at the taco stand at Village.
Yes, that's right down the road from where our Jim and I's fraternity house. You might have driven by it. You could have driven by it. I
must have done. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, what a trip, dude.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
So jealous.
I'm already planning the trip for next year, sort of starting to sort of come up with ideas and try and raise some funds to go and do it again, because it's like I was saying, sort of 5 days is nowhere near enough to take it all in.
Yeah. Man, John, what else do you have? What else do you?
I don't know, man. I'm sitting here like scrolling through. I know we didn't ask a lot of the questions. Yeah. Like, was there any like Southern sayings or anything like that you came across that you'd not heard before, or that you thought were particularly interesting or strange?
No, do you know what is the one? Bless your heart. I'm gonna have that explained to me. Yes. Because in the UK we sort of do say, "Oh, bless him," and it's usually sort of quite a nice thing to say about someone. Oh, bless him, but I know it's maybe got a different connotation.
There's a little nuance.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's great. I know we did have one like that. Would you ever consider going using a trip to do a Georgia road game, or the cocktail party?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that Georgia are playing Vandy away next year. I think Nashville will be a pretty cool place to go to.
Yeah.
Which also falls in the sort of holiday time for my fiance, who hopefully will be my wife at that point. So I'm trying to convince her that Nashville in sort of September, October might be a good place to go on honeymoon. She's not falling for it just yet. She doesn't know that there's a game on that week either. But that would be.
You've got to take her out to a home game, man. That's the real ticket. Since you're an international celebrity in Athens.
Oh man, awesome. Okay, so since Tiny Putter took you to Waffle House and the Bulldawg Brunch, he did ask, what living Bulldog greats from the past would you like to meet in person?
Yeah, Nick Chubb, all the way. He's sort of the all-time number one for me.
Great answer,
Nick Chubb. Yeah, that's a good answer. I feel like you might have some luck doing that. Like of all of the people that you could have said, that's he's from Georgia, so
yeah. And the one of the stars of the team that got you into Georgia football in the first place. So
totally, yeah, absolutely. So, such a good player and so humble. Just seems like a good guy
for sure. Let's see. I know my dad did ask, would the trip include a stop? Oh yeah, he said a stopover in Athens or a road game only. Okay, so we talked about that part. So would you rather have my mom make you chicken and dumplings or country fried steak with mashed potatoes and gravy? I'll answer that for you because you don't know.
Yeah, you answer that for me.
I think I think the chicken and dumplings. It's probably going to be more different than anything you've had. So we'll answer that for you. So get out.
Yeah.
I would say that's
recommendations. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought this one was funny. So this is from Catherine. She asked. So part of her question was the Southern language that John mentioned. But one of the things, so she asked, was there anything interesting? And she listed some interesting things, I think, to me. So she mentioned Southern language, or like plumbing or electrical, or transportation, food, customs, flora and fauna. I don't know, any of those things stand out to you? Do you notice anything weird or not, or different?
I mean, do you know what? It's the same but different.
Okay.
To the UK, I mean, we all speak the same language. Our cultures are similar, but there are things that are obviously different. I think there was one point when I was sort of sat in Dwight's conservatory when some lizard sort of ran across my feet, which I wasn't expecting.
Right. Nice. Too good. Well, what are we forgetting to ask you? What else? Anything else that stood out, or anything maybe we missed?
No, I don't think so. There's been a few questions. The sort of the thing that blew my mind away more than anything about the whole trip is something I'll go back to, is the Southern hospitality and the welcome that I had from people there. That's the sort of the human interaction and meeting other fans and other sort of people from the area that truly blew me away. Is sort of how hospitable, how kind people were to me. It's mind blowing.
That's awesome. So like, that's the kind of thing, like, I don't know, for me, like you hope to hear.
Agreed.
Makes me proud, like, of my home state. To hear you say that, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. So
and our home fan base.
Yeah. That's really cool. I mean, John said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Like the whole, like, something I can't remember how much we got into this before, but I just think that, like, I think Twitter gets a bad rap, and I know why, but I think there are good things can come out of it. I always advocate for, like, if you follow, I don't know, some of those things come down to, like, who you follow as to what you're going to see on there, right? But we joke a lot about dog Twitter is undefeated, and I think, like, this, your story culminating in this trip, and I know it's still ongoing now, but from the time that you became a Georgia fan back in 2014, You start this Twitter account. This is one of the reasons why this trip happened. And folks that you met through the app are folks that were giving, showing you around and kind of guiding you along this. I think that's also pretty special. I think that's pretty cool.
It was very cool.
So that, like I said, I know the app gets a bad rap, but cool things can happen from it too. So I think this is a perfect example. Twitter, not a sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's pretty phenomenal that all of this and more has been going on. I mean, you also had Valkyrie Dog's story and Natty Dog that happened like a few weeks later, and so it's just this online connections across the board and across the pond, as it turns out.
Right, seriously. Yeah. I saw them at the same tailgate, by the way. Same spot. Came by a couple weeks ago. Well, we will have to. Obviously, we'll stay in touch. We're already staying in touch, but love to continue to follow the journey. You got to keep us posted on whatever the decision is, whether there's a road game or home game. Keep us posted.
Yeah, I think it'll be a home game in all likelihood, but I'll be doing everything I can to be back.
So how long did it take you to get, you get home where you just like you get home, you sit down, where you're just like, oh my gosh.
You need a holiday from your holiday.
Yeah, it was also much. It took probably this amount of time to process everything and actually articulate everything that I experienced.
Yeah. I know. We kind of opened with it. Like I'm glad we didn't talk like Sunday, because you had a great Sunday. We kind of wanted you to enjoy your trip and your time there. And I think now you've had some time to process it, which I think probably helps too.
Yeah. Totally.
So, and I'll say too, like you said, I hope that this episode can be a bit of a time capsule for you as well. So hopefully something to kind of commemorate it for you.
Yeah.
Now you've got it documented.
Yeah, it really did happen.
It did happen. It did happen. You did stay near the tree that owns itself.
Awesome. All right. Any lasting final thoughts from anyone?
We have to do this. We have to do this trip now for Manchester United.
Oh yes. They might be winning games next year. Who knows?
I know. I'll wait until they've won the Premier League.
Oh no, I know.
Well, hey, now that I've shown you, Chris, photographic evidence that I do own a jersey. It may be an old sponsor jersey, but I've got the jersey.
They're the best ones. Yeah.
Do I need to say kit?
Those are the best ones. That's the best
kit?
one.
I don't have the full kit, I guess, but I have the jersey.
Yeah. There's one from like 1995 that I've been sort of wanting for a long, long time. It's so cool. It's worth about £100 online, but I totally want it.
I love it.
I'm gonna send you a picture when I get home, Chris, of a kit that we've got.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounding kind of like this is some kind of like Hunt the Jones, a little hunter type apparel talk here. I like it.
Yes. I'm quite proud of this one. It's something Carter's going to grow into.
Nice.
Ooh,
nice.
Intriguing.
Love to check that out.
Yeah.
Well, Chris,
cool,
it's been a pleasure having you back on. Thanks so much for agreeing to come back on and tell the full story. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine.
Absolutely, man.
I feel like we got to sign off the same way as we did last time with cheerio and go dogs.
Cheerio and go dogs.